and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Beyond the Tech. My name is Neda Kaizumi, and today we have Mr. Fredrik Standahl, who is a seasoned IT professional with over 15 years of experience, most recently stepping into the role of founding partner and CEO at FM Cybersecurity based in Oslo. He has a strong track record in IT operations, cybersecurity leadership, and cultivating Microsoft partnership. A self-described AI enthusiast, Fredrik recently attended and contributed to Weekend AI Jam Hackathon, helping to build an almost fully functional AI-driven prototype. He's also a CISO for hire, guiding companies in digital resilience and compliance, especially ahead of the July 1st, 2025 implementation of Norway's DURA law in Norway. Beyond his leadership role, Fredrik actively experiments with AI tools and agents to solve real-world problems, both for clients and in creative hack environments. On the podcast Beyond the Tech, we'll explore his journey from first choosing tech to founding a startup, leveraging AI, navigating potential exits, and dreaming about future innovation. Welcome to the show, Fredrik.
Thank you so much. Wow, what an introduction.
You're welcome, and that's well deserved. What first drew you into IT and tech over 15 years ago? And did you have a light bulb moment when you decided that this would be my career path in future?
Yeah, great question. What first drew me into IT? So I grew up in the early 2000s when the flashiest gadget you can have was your huge flashy desktop tower just running Counter-Strike, the game. I'd save up for parts, swap a GPU, overclock a CPU, anything to squeeze a few more frames in Counter-Strike. And new tech back then was quite scarce, so when a new gadget came around, it was interesting for me. It was something that just captured my attention. So when university applications came around, actually I was applying for industrial design, so that was at the top of my wish list, but the grade threshold was brutal here in Norway. So information technology was next, and it promised me the same blend of creativity and engineering, just more silicon than sketch paper, I guess. So I jumped in, and ever since I've been drawn or just more fascinated into IT. But the light bulb hasn't happened until now, Neda. I'm not getting a single flash. Right now it's just a strobe hitting me because of the AI that we're moving towards. So Gen AI has just collapsed the gap between idea and execution. So I sketched a concept in the morning and I have a working prototype by dinner. So the tech moves so fast that the only limit I have right now is the hours I can squeeze out in a day. So the constant rush of new possibilities is why I still get the same buzz I felt powering up my first home-built rig, you could say, back when I was younger.
Interesting. You have a sense of curiosity, which is very interesting, and I think that drives you forward. And the light bulb hasn't happened yet, but when I compare you with a lot of other professionals at your age, I really think you should be proud of yourself, and I really enjoy the conversation with the tech background that you have. So the light bulb is somewhere there, but interesting. At what point did you feel ready to branch out your own, and what motivated you to create your first company or take a consulting as a CISO for fire?
Oh, good. Do you know the feeling when you just come home and you're just tired, Neda? You feel exhausted, even though you slept well, eaten healthy, worked out. You're having good days back to back, but you're still just tired. So it wasn't a single grand of epiphany, you could say. It was a slow burn that finally clicked. I spent years working as a consultant where success was always measured in billable hours and not in impact. So I'd come home wiped out, even though I hadn't even had a busy day, and I didn't understand why. The tipping point came when I realized I was spending more energy navigating bureaucracy than helping clients. I wanted a model where a great idea on Monday could be in a client's hands by Friday without having 8 layers of sign-off, basically. So I left, teamed up with a like-minded partner who also valued the same flexibility and that had the same desire to build something. And the pitch was simple. Most SMBs don't need can't afford a full-time security executive. So by the time they need someone who can translate threats, laws, budgets into workable, they need someone who can just translate threats, laws, and budgets into a more workable roadmap for them. So that's where we come in right now, and I'm really enjoying working with more smaller clients than just one big client at the moment.
I like the way you react to the challenges that you receive, like being again curious and listening to your heart, following it. I think it's so impressive. FM Cybersecurity is your latest venture. How did it come about, and what key problems are you aiming to solve with your co-founders?
I remember this one. It's not that long ago, really, but it was a year ago. Max and we were sitting, it was a sunny day, and we were sitting by the ocean in Stavanger, having a cold beer at the pier. And I vaguely remember we were discussing some company politics, and eventually one of us just said something along the lines of, we already handled the heavy lifting, why not just do it ourselves? And as like-minded as we are, the other replied with, how hard can it be? Let's just do it. We had a cheers with the beers, and in that spur of the moment toast became FM, or Fredrik and Max Cybersecurity. And what we're trying to fix is the regulatory squeeze on SMBs. So you have the digital sikkerhetslov, which is coming first, NIS2 that will follow, and both raise enterprise level obligations towards these SMBs that doesn't have the capital or the funding or the time to work on these regulations. And then you have the resource gap. So most SMBs will not hire a full-time security or GRC lead, yet they're open to these virtual roles, like virtual CISO, GDPR specialist, risk owner, basically leadership for hire. So our approach, we just do a fixed price. We will not bill by the hour, just a fixed price. Sometimes we work more, sometimes work less, but the flexibility is there. We can still brief the board, we can still steer policy decisions, stay heads on, create strategy for them. And there's more to just consultancy as well. So behind the consultants, we're building an autonomous AI agent platform aimed squarely at the SMB market. So details stay under wraps for now, but the goal is simple: let the agents do the work, try to create what Microsoft called the phase 3 of working with AI agents. So instead of just using ChatGPT, or they just AI agent do simple roles, instead they will function as they will build these complete roles in a company. So you have a whole AI agent team working for you, and you're working with them.
That's nice, and I'll get back to that question, but I should say that it has been a brave but important moment in your life. And before I come back to the AI word and what you just mentioned about AI agent, I would like to understand that how does working as fractional CISO differ from a full-time executive role, and how do you balance that with leading FM cybersecurity?
A full-time CISO is embedded to work 40 hours a week inside one company. You steering every security decision from laptop hardening to board risk appetite. VCISO, virtual CISO, works like a portfolio partner. I drop in long enough to set strategy, build a roadmap, coach the in-house team if they have one, or steer the outsourced IT team, and then step out so the client only pays for the expertise they actually need. While traditional CISO has deep context for one industry, virtual CISO has to switch sectors and regulatory regimes on the fly. So Tuesday morning, I'm mapping health controls. Tuesday afternoon, it's NIS2 for a logistics firm. It's the upside of the upside is cross-pollination. You could see when I say a clever defense in one sector, I adapt it for another maybe. And then you have the standardization. So many security fundamentals repeat across clients. So I can keep reusing a lot of the work that I've already done. And then you have the fixed price, so they know exactly how much we cost. You have the stability for when you use a vCISO service from us. Clients know the cost up front.
And that's good, predictive for them and exciting for you. That's very amazing way of working. Now let's go back to the AI. You recently joined an AI Jam weekend hackathon. What were you and your team building, and what did that experience teach you about rapid AI prototyping? As you know, AI is crazy fast. So just would like to know what happened that weekend.
Yeah, I did join a weekend hackathon where the whole purpose was you want to build something in that weekend. That's it. You show up on Friday, you get the idea on Friday, and then you're done Sunday evening. And the door closes at 11 and they open at 10. So you don't spend 24 hours working on it. You get home, you get some sleep. So I turned up solo on Friday because I'm hooked on the idea of vibe coding, talking to an LLM while it cranks out code. After the pitch, round one, so there was this one idea that grabbed me. Someone had an awesome pitch. So it was maybe boring for someone else, but for me, I saw a market potential in it right away. So the idea was that, all right, let's just match every Norwegian grant to your company profile and have an agent draft the entire application. So FM Cybersecurity had just been mapping grants for our own roadmap. So the pain is still fresh. I still had to spend time on it. So I sat down with the team. We sketched a bit. We drew some ideas. And by Saturday morning, well, you could basically say the prompts were flying. So the agent was scraping company data. We were not scraping, but use actually API calls, because in Norway you have portals where you can get this kind of data open. And within Sunday, well, during Sunday, we actually had a full working proof of concept, which was awesome. And the team consists of, we were 4 people with completely different backgrounds, and none of us has ever worked as a developer. None of them. So one of the guys, he's a product manager, Camilo. And then you have Mika, who specializes in communications. And lastly, we had Jacob, the venture capitalist. And lastly, it was me, you can't put me in one kind of basket person. So I know my IT, just not my code. So it was interesting seeing how far you can push developing in a weekend. And what the sprint taught me was, taught me a lot of things. It actually gave me some questions too. For example, the speed resets the funding game. 6 months ago, investors expected a SaaS MVP in 2 years, and now 2 founders and an LLM AI agent can basically ship one in 4 weeks. So valuation models will have to catch up. And that gave me some more questions as well. All right, high price, for example, SaaS services. If a platform becomes too expensive now, companies will just create it themselves. They would just clone 80% of the features in the software and just build it themselves. Because that will be possible in a year or two from now. But what specifically the coding itself taught me, the vibe coding, the hackathon, is AI loves to write tests and documentation and ignore them. Well, not completely ignore them. They will gladly use the oldest data you have that is not needed anymore. So the model loves generating scripts and documentation, but happily forgets to maintain them. So you really need to be on point. You need to have your guardrails. You need to have the human in the loop to actually catch when it's starting to use the wrong code, use the wrong tests when appropriate. And then the next thing is use the best model today. So the top coding model 3 weeks ago probably isn't the leader now. So switching to the latest engine yields an instant velocity jump. So the bottom line, rapid AI prototyping lets a handful of like-minded builders tackle problems that used to require a dozen of engineers and a year of runway. So the trick is pairing that speed with enough discipline to keep the project secure and maintainable.
Fantastic. For such a weekend, it has been amazing. And I just, feel this feeling of achievements. When you just say it, I can feel it. So tell me more about the product. What have you done? Is it now ready to the market?
So what we decided to do was, all right, we built this in a weekend. Let's step back. Let's think about what we've done, what we learned, and then just recreate it. So we built it from ground up again, and this time focused way more on the security aspect, the compliance aspect of this, since this touches the financial side of a company. We decided to fully build this in Microsoft now, instead of using tools like V0 or Lovable that just completes to build your website and database. We decided, all right, we need to do this properly now. We want to actually go to market. So on Sunday, there was so much talk about our product that we decided to, all right, we're going to send this to the market, but let's just first do it properly. So we've had almost a month now of building, and we're almost basically done, but there's always some small adjustments we want to do before we actually send it. And it's been, we've learned a lot. So next time we will probably use half the time again to create the next product.
Wow, awesome. That's fantastic. And I like that you take action and you start, promoting whatever you have created as a product to the market. So is that kind of like an AI product within FM security, or is it going to be a own product with own, track?
All right, good question. So the technology itself is you use AI agents to map out your company, and then you take that information and you automatically match them against a grant here in Norway. And then when you have enough information, you can automatically create the application for them as well. So everything is done for you. You just eventually maybe just copy paste what we wrote, or maybe in the future we're allowed to actually send the application in for you. So remember, I joined up with a complete strangers. I did not know these guys. So I was not part of FM Cybersecurity. It was just me loving the idea of a hackathon. So this will not be an FM Cybersecurity product. This is something we're just doing on its side. This is not any of our primary, work day-to-day kind of things. This is something that we're doing evenings and weekends. So this will be a completely new firm that we're starting up just for this product.
This is definitely pivoting what you had taught before, but it's absolutely amazing. You mentioned becoming the Microsoft partner and a specialized aid in AI agent status. How do you use this partnership to shape your tech stack and offerings?
Yeah, so Microsoft relationship gives us two big levers. So the platform depth and most importantly, credibility. So we're now Microsoft partner, but we've also been accepted into the Microsoft Startup Fund, which gives us access to so much more Azure credits, software licenses, and knowledge. So we actually have access to senior Microsoft engineers now through the Startup Fund. And by being in this position, we're given the latest, the newest AI models, for example. And being able to create our product in Microsoft is quite important. If you want to be serious with how you handle your data, data at rest, data in transit, one of the best ways to commit fully to using Microsoft's service. So I know exactly where the data is at any point, and I can control that data through. I can control the data as well in their ecosystem with, for example, Purview. So right now it's quite popular having a Purview project because of Copilot. You need to control your data before you let AI access your data. If you don't control your data, then why should AI be allowed to parse through your data? And as a cybersecurity specialist, I need to be able to prove to my customer that I'm capable of handling their data. And Microsoft is the way to go for trust and credibility in the SMB plus and enterprise market.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that clients in Europe will like that because probably people in the United States don't relate so much. They use Microsoft product less than Europe when I compare. But that's amazing how you utilize the AI in the Microsoft environment. What is very interesting in your journey for me is that you have been involved in at least 3 companies, 3 startups. So if you could walk us through one, how did this idea shape? What's your role? And you're also thinking about exit. I don't know so many young people that thinking about building a company and exit. So if you can inspire us that how you have come to that point.
Great one. All right, let's go through the first one, which is FM Cybersecurity, which we started officially the 1st of January 2025, which is quite recent. I'm the CEO of that company. And one of the things that I've learned is things takes a lot more time than you think. I mean this in every aspect. So getting clients, getting new partners, setting up meetings, make a sale, create a network, like all of these things take a lot of time when you're building from scratch. Just creating a name for the company. So there's a lot of focus on just managing the company itself. So I can't go around having 100% billable hours because that means I'm neglecting the company as well. And I will want the company to have a name. So I need to also hire people, which we've already done as well. So we've hired we're getting 2 new people in August and one more in September. So which means I need to take care of them as well. And then you have the grant matching, AI grant matching service that we will be starting another company with. But that is a totally different concept again. That's only the concept of let's build something with AI, let's ship it, let's see how the market reacts. And that's not a day-to-day job. That's just something people can do as a passion next to their day-to-day job now. But because of this grant matching service, we're also creating this third company that will be about the concept of creating something in a couple of weeks' time. So right now, the hackathon community in Norway is there's potential to build something here. And we want to be part of that. And regarding pivoting, so just with the AI grant matching service, we actually, during our couple of weeks, we built it now. We pivoted multiple times how we want to sell the product. So the product itself was the same, but it could be adjusted slightly to reach a completely different audience. So we went through multiple iterations before we found the sweet spot. And the same with FM Cyber, we had to go through multiple times how we wanted to perceive ourselves. What's our image? What will be the goal of the company? And this took Well, yeah, up until May, June, half a year to finally nail that. All right, this is what we're going to build. This is what we're going to focus on. You don't know from day one.
Absolutely, and I know what it takes to be a founder. It's both painful and interesting, inspiring. But I love the story of your journey. So, when founding these companies, how early do you start thinking about exit? Whether it's acquisition, scaling, or whatever. When do you think that okay, it's my turn to do exit?
Well, you know this as well, Neda, but day one. So we're at the cafe napkin stage where we're back to the pier in Stavanger. We're having the beer and we're setting terms already. And the more we sketched on our napkin, the clearer became that we didn't want outside money calling the shots. So we flipped the script. Only employees are allowed to own a slice, no passive investors. So it means a slower burn, growth funded by revenue. But we keep all the levers, so the product focus, culture, and the right to say no to work that doesn't excite us. So if I'm not allowed to call the shots anymore, then my desire to build something, it's just vastly diminishes. And so control over capital, the energy economics of it, you could say, the internal balance, the same hours that go into product development. So skipping passive investors means fewer why are we doing these meetings. And then you have the culture of freedom. So means bootstrapping is slower, but it lets you pivot without permission. So in a space moving as fast as AI, the agility is worth more than a short-term cash injection. So we already had offers with the grant funding platform, and we've turned them all down because we don't see any we do not need any capital to send this product to the market at all. So that causes a different question. So as I raised earlier, how do you fund something that can go to market in less than a month? But the net effect is the autonomy fuels engagement. So when direction, reward, culture stay in the hands of the builders, the work stays fun, and fun is a competitive advantage, Neda. So you always have an exit plan from day one, but only as a comp, because you use this decision to decide cap table terms or vesting options. And then you park it.
Absolutely, and I think it's taking action there and then and thinking the way that you do, it will be successful for sure. It's probably not coming to the point that you want for now, but it will be in not so long from now. I'm quite confident on that. Let's go back to the topic that I'm so interested in, and that's AI. In your view, what are the most compelling ways AI create values? And that can be for your customer, for yourself, or for any client out there. What value areas do you see?
Let's just take the simplest one first. Is the brutal efficiency you cannot get anywhere else. So what previously used to take a full day, a week, a year, now takes that's 15 minutes with an LLM and you've done a day's work. So humans cannot in any way compare ourselves to the efficiency of AI. So this is a point where you either adapt or you pull a Kodak. So for our client, that means we're able to take on more work for the same amount of billable hours. So I think in the future, there will be some kind of expectancy for consultants to become this new version of consultancy. So consultant 2.0, where it's expected to use AI to increase your output. So that's in regards to consultancy. So if I look into my own field, so where can AI create most value when it comes in terms of cybersecurity and GRC? I think maybe actually GRC on autopilot. So in addition to having this brutal efficiency, you're able to hand over governance and compliance to an AI. So if the AI knows your company, gets relevant information, then AI will be able to have far better control than any human can. So right now it's become quite popular to have a dedicated GRC team to support the CISO, but these teams can, right now, unfortunately to say, easily be replaced by AI. GRC is about having control and being able to prove it, and no one can do it better than an AI. Just need to create a system for the AI to thrive. The third point I want to mention in the compelling ways AI create value is the knowledge on demand you get. So think of AI as bought and paid for expertise. You can just bolt on to any human. So if you need deep NIS2 directive nuances, for example, you could just buy that knowledge, attach it to yourself. So you prompt, it delivers. And the model plugs that knowledge straight into your workflow. So the person holding the laptop suddenly feels like someone who 10 extra years in the field. Just like coding, vibe coding, AI jam. Suddenly we're able to create a product and code like no one has ever done before. So AI isn't just a tool you can use. You have to look at it as an extension of yourself.
And believe me, I'm going to quote you in future, especially I love this brutal efficiency that you said. It is absolutely true. A couple of my Harvard colleagues and I are using AI to reduce school shooting. We are creating prototype based on the data found from 1960 up to last year to identify some pattern that how a school shooter can come to the school area. And what do you think, as AI expert, that about this project? Do you think we can be successful, and what advice would you have for us?
Sensitive topic, Neda, and an important one as well. Well, I guess you could combine multimodal signals that research links to future violence. So you could look into social media hostility spikes, or maybe hate speech clusters, sudden grade drops, disciplinary heat maps, physical cues, vandalism, I guess, dark corridors, blind spots for cameras, maybe even community stress, local arrest data, domestic violence incidents, and then maybe build an environment risk index for schools. So you use a supervised model that outputs a campus level score rather than naming an individual. You feed it rolling windows of signals above, labeled with historic incident data. So that keeps the focus on places and moments that needs help and not predicting placing of students. One way you could solve it. And that'd be interesting to see how you actually will attack that.
I will share with you, but you actually read our mind, because all those stuff that you were saying, like a data collection point, they are absolutely true. We are using data miner for social media to capture information from students. And there's something amazing in the US, which I didn't know, but I want to share with you. They have audio detective in the schools, which we don't have in Norway. So that's also a good starting point for data collection.
Definitely interesting. Just one aspect of this. I actually created a kind of risk index myself. Up against the Trump president election in the States, I built an AI model around detecting risk of manipulation in social media and news. So what's the degree of manipulation that is happening with this article? And that was my first touch with using AI agents in a system, not just chatting with it, but putting it into a system. So it's definitely a really important area, and I will be looking forward to see your work on this.
Thank you. And I tell you that I think we need your model in Norway. We have election in almost 3 months, so that will definitely be useful here at home.
Oh, I'm using it.
Oh, great. That's great. Okay. I have a favorite question in this show, and that's is that if you have given unlimited time, budget, and talent and resources in the world, what ambitious AI project would you pursue next?
So if I had unlimited time, budget, and talent, so what ambitious AI project would I do? So on this AI Jam hackathon that I was at, there was this person who had this amazing idea, and it was a learning platform that touched him deeply. He was not everyone is learning the same way. Not everyone can just sit in a stool in a classroom and just be taught. And he wanted to fix that. So if you would give me like infinite budget, talent, and all the NVIDIA GPUs available, I'd build a personal AI tutor for every learner on Earth. Maybe I wouldn't build it. I would give it to the person who has the motivation, dedication to build it, that connects with it deeply, because that will be the most important when it comes to creating something with AI, and that is the passion the person has behind it. I looked up some facts earlier, and it said that 244 million kids are still out of school today, according to UNESCO. That is a lot of people that could be given a personal AI tutor. And second, the students who are in classrooms, they learn in lockstep, even though research shows adapting lessons lift performance when content actually matches the learner's pace. So yeah, we would definitely go that way. And all praise to the person who had this amazing idea at Hackathon.
That deeply touched my heart. That's so close to me. Everything comes to humanitarian work and helping, school kids, whoever who doesn't have the resources. It's for a goodwill, and I'm sure God will bless that. Okay, finally, what does Beyond the Tech mean to you?
I guess we're back to us humans again, Neda. So the story of those beyond the tech, I guess. So what happens, how's the story building and folding itself?
Absolutely. That's for sure. Great, Fredrik. It has been a great pleasure to talk to you. I was inspired a lot, even though I'm working with AI every day, but you had the brilliant idea, your personality, and your brave movement and the steps are truly inspiring, and I'm sure our listeners will love this conversation. I wish you all the best, and thank you for being with us in this show today.
Thank you, Neda. Thank you for having me.